Good afternoon, everybody. KB5 MIQ Big Boy. We're going to talk a little bit about a couple of items today. First off, going to talk a little bit about experimentation and hams helping each other out. And all you new guys that are getting your new tech license, that's great. Proud to see you coming into the hobby. Please try to get on something to get on the low bands. You'll really enjoy them. The sunspot cycle's picking up, and you'll really enjoy getting on the low bands. Now, y'all have heard me talk about my nightly roundtable on 10 meters. I always mention it in every video. This will happen. Right before W5DLX brought this to my attention, I had actually been kind of thinking I was having a problem because lots of times when I make a contact, especially a DX contact, I have to repeat my call sign 3 or 4 times. Of course, I've got a semi-odd call sign, I guess, KB5MIQ, and this redneck Northeast Texas accent doesn't help matters none with it. I've always, I've tried to correct phonetic Kilo Bravo 5 Mike India Quebec. I get that wrong. Now I go to Kilowatt Bravo 5 Mexico India Quebec. You usually have to repeat that 3 times. Well, anyway, Cody was talking, we was texting, and he said, man, there's something I've been meaning to tell you. Your mic sounds a little bit muffled and a little bassy. Well, I'm using the Heel Pro Set headset mic, because I got used to that kind of mic in the military, and I'm bad about eating the mic because we was always in track vehicles and I always kept the mic in contact with my lips because it was designed that way so we wouldn't pick up background noise with the vehicles running. So I'm bad about eating the mic anyway. So I said, okay, we'll get on the round table and that. We'll play with it a little bit. Well, I adjusted, and I did know from previous experience on these Yaesu radios, you have to turn the mic gain way down if you change to any kind of non-standard Yaesu mic. And I already had the mic gain from 50 down to 14. Well, I done counts, and we went up and down with the gain and tried different things, and then I put the factory mic back on it and turned it back to 50. He said, man, that sounds so much better. Let me show you something. He said, give me a count now, and I give him a count. Well, he was recording me with his cell phone. He said, go back to that headset. So I went back to the headset, done the same thing. He sent both the videos to me, and I listened to them, and I could tell the difference. The factory mic was a lot sharper and clearer, more natural sounding. And after I got off the radio, I went back in there and watched TV with my wife, who is not a ham radio operator and doesn't want anything to do with this like my grandkids. I want you to listen to something. Tell me which one's clear. And I didn't tell her which one was which. I played them both for her, and she picked the Yaesu mic out. So I've got, he sent me a link with some settings. I'm going to check all my settings with that other mic right now. Right now, I'm back to my headset, my factory mic. And made a couple of contacts today. First contact, guy got my call first time. Second contact, I had to repeat it 1 time, and he had it as Mike India Tango instead of Mike India Quebec. So maybe that's helping out a little bit. Anyway, that's part of the experimentation and helping each other out. And the ground wave round table we do, Jeff and I started that back in 91. That's another question my wife asked. I know you've worked with Cody for several years, and said you worked with Jeff for 37 years. What possibly could y'all have to talk about every now and then? I said, well, that's just ham radio, and we do this hoping as the band opens, other people check in with us. And we're getting some check-ins. We are. Cody and I had a Florida station check in with us last week. And when the band's open, we do get, bands being open a little more lately, we get some other people checking in, and we enjoy that part of the hobby. So that's the reason we do this. Now, he suggested something about talk a little bit about my HF radio. Now, I don't have the best camera set up in the world. I've done filmed this once, and I was half out of the picture, so I'm going back to my normal way of filming, but you may not be able to see the radio as well. I'm going to see if I can zoom in just a hair. Can't zoom in and out. All right, so we're going to go ahead and try it like this. Like I said before, I use a Yaesu FT897D. That's only the second HF radio I've ever owned in my life. I've got it set up with an LDG YT100 tuner and an LDG 897 auxiliary meter. You watch some other previous videos, you know, when I started out, I had an 897 tuner on here that I had trouble with. LDG made it good, sent me that one there. Had good luck with it. Used that other one for a long time also. This is I picked this radio out over a Kenwood and a Nikon for the features it had, even though I don't use 2/3 of the features on the radio. Like I said before, I'm a voice operator. I don't do CW. Y'all seen some other videos where I talk about my hearing issues, one reason I never could learn CW. And I don't do digital modes right now. I'm looking at them at a later date, but I'm strictly a voice operator. So, with this radio, when Yaesu advertised it as a military ruggedized radio, it covers 160 through 6 meters in the HF band. It covers your VHF and UHF band, all modes, all through the whole thing. It's not Mars modified, but it covers all the ham bands. It'll cross band repeat. It has the capability to take onboard batteries internally for field operations. I think it cuts the power output to 20 watts when you do that. But that was an option. I didn't buy it because I've got access to batteries if I use it in the field, and in the house I keep a power supply on it. It's a 22 amp radio at 13.8 volts, so you need a power supply capable of at least 22 amps. I'm running an Astron RS35 power supply. Front panel controls are real easy to operate. Your on-off buttons here. This is your main VFO knob. Here's a memory and what I call a fast scan VFO. It's in a higher amount of steps or bigger. You just kind of thumb through the band if you need to. Here's your clarifier, or like on the old school radio, they call it the RIT, receive incremental tuning. If somebody's a little off frequency from you, you can clean up their audio a little bit with that. Volume control, squelch RF gain knob. This is your band up and down, modes, digital signal processor, home, VFO, and memory functions. This is my first multifunction screen here. You just bump the F key one time, and then you can scroll through the screens, whatever you need, whatever you want to use it for. I leave mine set on the meter functions. If you press the F key in and hold it till it beeps, this gives you access to all of the settings in the main menu functions, main screens. Everything in there. The thing I like about Yaesu radios, just hold it again till it beeps, you're back where you were. The menus stay there, so it gives you time to make decisions, especially for older guys who did not start out with menu-based radios. This small Kenwood here is a rock-solid, good 2-meter radio, but it's absolutely a beast to program. Like I've said in earlier videos, you've got to have 3 fingers ready to push 3 buttons in a nanosecond, or it goes back to where you started from. This one doesn't do that. Gives you plenty of time to make your decisions, make your functions. The external meter, you actually have to turn on the extended menu, and in the manual shows you how to do that. And I leave my external meter set for SWR, and I've got this one set for power output. You can set them however you want to. It's just kind of a little neat option the radio's got. Of course, it's got a backlit display. You can change the colors of the display. It's got different display colors in there. You can name your memories. Well, like if you put some VHF, UHF repeaters in there, you can actually name them instead of just having the repeater frequencies in there, which is a pretty good option to have on it. All in all, it's a good radio. This one I bought in 07. There's one issue I've seen happen to these radios after about 10 years that happened to mine here recently, like in 19. I sent it back and had it repaired. There's 3 filters. They're 72 cents a piece from Yaesu that go out in it. $70 bench fee, 3 72-cent filters, and shipping. I think it was $109 or $119. In 2 weeks, my radio was repaired and back and works fine. I mean, and I got 10 years out of it before that happened. And if you ever start having one of these radios, it does is what it'll do is you won't have any single sideband output power. It'll output in FM and AM, but it won't have any output power at all in single sideband. It'll be like, depending on the band, you have it set at 100 watts, you may be getting 10 watts to 3 or 4 watts. And it's just hard to tell on people, but you can look at your meter and tell you're not getting any power out. I called Yaesu, their tech walked me through some tests, and he'd come to the same conclusion I did. That was what the issue was in it. And he said it's something after about 10 years that these radios do. But that's 10 years, pretty good use on the radio. And I really enjoy using it. It's real easy to use. Doesn't take up a lot of space on your bench. If you had a radio in the 90s, in fact, they didn't even make radios in the 90s had all these functions in them. It had this many bands in it, and it would take up half this table. You know, I like the old radios with the old switches in them, but if you don't use them switches, they get dirty after a while, and these are pretty good radios. I'm getting more used to them. Hey, Ham Radio Cat. Hey, number one fan Aaron, old Ham Radio Cat finally come up here for a minute. I don't know where he's going to stay up here or not. But Yaesu's good radio. This radio's out of production. They've got some other radios that are real similar, like 891 and 991's out now. I think DLX uses an 891 he's had real good luck with. When I first set this radio up, I was still working. I was divorced. Wasn't on the radio a lot. All the antenna I had up for HF was a G5RV for 10 through 80 meters. Never had anything on 160. For a brief period of time, I had a 2-element diamond 6-meter beam up. I had a diamond. I still have the diamond 2-meter 440 quarter-wave vertical up. The storm took out the 6-meter beam. Been on 6 some. It's kind of an odd band. If it's open really good. If it's not open, it's not open very often. Now, since I'm retired, I've got my antennas consist of a 2-element 10-meter Moxon MFJ beam. I've had really good luck with, really good reports on it. I've got a homebrew 17-meter dipole. I've got a Hustler 5BTV vertical 10, 15, 20, 40, and 80-meter vertical up in the backyard. Like I say, I've got a 6-meter mobile mag mount vertical on the roof of my porch. I've got the diamond 2-meter 440 vertical on another separate pole. And I got a 160 homemade dipole up. So being retired, have a little more time to mess with it, and have a lot of fun with it like that. If you run up on one of these worth the money, I suggest getting it. Like I said, you can find out if it's very old, if it's 10-year-old radio, find out if the filters have been changed in it. If it hadn't, be aware that you could have that problem with it. Actually, I've seen these still bringing what I paid for this one. I bought it by AES back in 07, and I think I get $7.99 for it. And I've seen them used for $800. So that's good rig. I really enjoy it. I highly recommend it. Yaesu older 270 talkie I got the same way. It's real easy to program also. So that's one of the key points I like with Yaesu. Now, I do recommend this, especially for us older guys who haven't been brought up playing on video games and computers, the Nifty Mini Manual. Good quick reference manual, tells you whatever menu function is. I keep it on my bench. I use it a good bit, changing menu functions out. Also, keep the original manual. In fact, I put all of my ham radio stuff in a binder now. I've got 2 of them started with extra, anything that comes with an antenna, everything I put in the binder, I won't lose it, because I'd actually lost my original manual for this and the Kenwood, and they're probably in this mess around here in this shack somewhere. I'll find them one day. But anyway, thought we'd talk a little bit about my rig, what I use on HF. Highly recommend you guys try to find a way to get on the low band, so I guarantee you'll enjoy it. I've had some people, had good luck to talk to some people that watch my channel. I appreciate that. I actually worked 17 meters with VE6 Alpha Alpha Tango, and I had an email from OZ1ING from Denmark, want me to work a 30-meter CW with him. And I had to apologize to him. Earlier videos you've seen me talking about CW and why I don't do it. But I appreciate everybody watching the channel. My email is posted on my QRZ page. Send me an email if you got any questions. I'll try to help you any way I can. W5DLX, WD5HKV, and myself, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Friday nights, starting at about 7:30 Central Standard Time on 28450 or somewhere there close if somebody's already on frequency. We have our nightly roundtable. We encourage anybody to check in. We're getting some check-ins here. Cody and I had a Florida station check-in last week with us. We enjoy doing that, really do. I appreciate everybody who subscribed to the channel. Hit 180 subscribers. I know I may not be as flashy a channel as some of the other ones are, but I try to keep this on a budget, down to earth, and tell everybody the truth and try to help any way I can with this hobby. I don't like to see people, made fun of or derogatory answers or what I call the NASA engineer answer. So any way I can help anybody, please let us know. Thank y'all for watching. Thank everybody for subscribing to the channel. This is KB5MIQ Big Boy 73.